Hey guys, we are going to start today in a seated position at the back of the mat. So you can sit on the shins as always, or if you prefer with the legs crossed. Place the hands on top of the thighs and close the eyes. Pull the shoulders to the back, open the chest, and relax the face. Start connecting to the breath. Slow it down. Make it deeper, longer. We are going to start the practice with a few inhalations for the count of 3 and exhalations also for the count of 3. We are going to stick to nasal breathing. So inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. 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 And now inhale through the nose. Let go of any breathing pattern. Just connect to the breath. Stay aware of it. Stay with the eyes closed and drop the chin to the chest. And now guide the right ear to the right shoulder. Chin to the chest, left ear to the left shoulder. Drawing half circle, chin to the chest, right ear to the right shoulder. Chin to the chest, left ear to the left shoulder. One more time, chin to the chest, right ear to the right shoulder, hold here. Walk the left fingers away from you and place the palm of the right hand on top of the left ear. Just finding length down the left side of the body. And then release the right hand to the right, chin to the chest, left ear to the left shoulder. And then place the left hand on top of the right ear, walking the right fingers away from you, finding the length down the right side of the body this time, of the right side of the neck. And then release the left hand, chin to the chest. On your next inhalation, lift the chin. The head rests on top of the neck. Neck is aligned with the rest of the spine. Interlace the fingers in front of you and just start making some circular movements with the wrists. To one side, to one direction. And then switch direction. And then release the hands on top of the thighs. On your next inhalation, open the chest. Maybe lift the gaze, finding length at the back of the neck, so you're not dropping the head completely to the back, lifting the tailbone. Exhale, rounding the back body, chin to the chest. And again, inhale, you can slide the hands towards the hips as you arch the back, lift the tailbone, pull the shoulders to the back. Exhale, slide the hands on the knees, round the back body, and once again, inhale, open. And then exhale, round the back body. And then neutral spine. Lower the hands to the mat and make your way into a tabletop position. Immediately tuck the toes under and then lift the knees from the mat, finding your plank position. Shoulders on top of the wrist creases. Press the space in between the shoulder blades to the ceiling. Engage the glutes, the back of the thighs. Inhale. As you exhale, bend the knees, belly on top of the thighs as the knees are hovering above the mat. So shift the hips to the back, extend the arms, stretch through the shoulders. Inhale, find your plank position. Shift the shoulders on top of the wrists, scoop the abs. Exhale, press the hips to the back. Knees are hovering above the mat, belly on top of the thighs, and then inhale forward. And then as you exhale to the back, belly on top of the thighs, knees are hovering above the mat. And then inhale, find your plank position. This time as you exhale, drop the heels to the right, send the hips to the back, finding length down the left side of the body. The knees are pointing to the left. And then inhale, find your plank. And again, drop the heels, the hips to the right, knees pointing to the left, sink low. And then inhale forward. One last time, exhale, pull the hips to the back on top of the heels, knees are pointing to the left. Inhale, find your plank position. And we are going to the other side, drop the heels to the left, knees pointing to the right, sink low, keep the arms extended. And then inhale forward. So hands stay exactly as they are. And then just drop the heels to the left, point the knees to the right, belly comes closer to the thighs. And then forward one last time. To the back. And then find your plank position. Drop the knees to the mat, the top of the feet to the mat. Turn the fingers so they are pointing towards the knees. We are in a tabletop position with the fingers pointing to the back. If this is too much, you can just turn the fingers away from the midline of the mat. And we are going to go through a few cat-cows here. So inhale as you open the chest, arch the back. Exhale, round the back body. Inhale, open, and if the fingers are pointing away from the midline of the mat, then you can just shift from side to side. Exhale. Once again, inhale. And then exhale, neutral spine. Release the hands, fingers are pointing forward. Once again, tuck the toes under, make your way into a plank position. Drop the heels to the right, shift the weight on the right hand, extend the left arm above the head, finding your side plank. And now just for a moment, pull the left knee to the armpit, and then step the left foot to the center of the mat, to the left long edge of the mat. So the left toes are pointing away from you for a supported side plank. And then as you exhale, lower the right hip to the mat. The left fingers are reaching to the back. Inhale, lift. Find length down the left side of the body. Left fingers are reaching to the front of the mat. Exhale, lower the hips, left fingers are reaching to the back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower the right hip, left fingers reaching to the back, gaze follows the fingers. And then inhale, lift the hips. You are in a side plank, left fingers reaching to the front of the mat. Extend the left arm above the head. Pull the left knee to the left armpit. Step the left foot in front of the right foot, lower the left hand to the mat. And we are going to the other side. Find your side plank on the left hand. Right arm is reaching towards the ceiling. And then press the left hand, the outer edge of the left foot to the mat as you lift the right knee. Or you lift the right foot, pulling the right knee to the armpit. And then gently step the right foot to the right long edge of the mat, right toes pointing to the right. Exhale, lower the left hip. Right fingers reaching to the back of the mat. Inhale, lift the hip. Right arm is reaching above the head to the front of the mat. And then exhale, lower. Tap the outer left hip to the mat. Inhale, lift. And then as you exhale, lower. Inhale, lift and hold. Once again, shift the weight on the left hand, left foot. Pull the right knee to the right armpit, to the right elbow. And then step the right foot next to the left foot. Lower the right hand to the mat. Find your plank position. Drop the knees to the mat. Keep the toes tucked under. Sit back into your child's pose. Take one inhalation. One exhalation. On your next inhalation, lift the chest, shift the shoulders on top of the hips. So we are in your toe seat, toe stand. And just hold for a moment. Finding length through the spine. Hands can rest next to the hips. Or you can place the palms of the hands together in front of the chest, completely up to you. We're going to lean to the back, engage the core, and then lift the knees from the mat. And then tap and lift. Tap as you lean slightly to the back and lift. Find stable point of gaze on the mat in front of you and lift. One more. Tap and lift. Drop the heels to the mat. Make your way into a standing forward fold. Relax the neck. You can nod the head from side to side. You can of course keep the knees bent, so you are bending only from the hips, not the lower back. Belly comes closer to the thighs. Think of opening the chest here instead of pulling the forehead to the knees. On your next inhalation, start walking the hands to the front of the mat. Find your plank position. And then chaturanga. Drop the knees if you need to, bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Hold here for a moment. Lift the thighs from the mat, the kneecaps from the mat, pull the shoulders to the back. And again, think of finding length in between the vertebrae in the neck, in a cervical spine. With the exhalation, downward facing dog. Again, if you need to bend the knees, that's always an option. Pull the hips to the back and up. Inhale. And exhale. Stay with the breath. On your next inhalation, look to the front of the mat and then either step or hop in between the hands. Halfway lift. Open the chest. Slide the shoulder blades to the spine. Exhale, lower the belly towards the thighs. Inhale, make your way into a standing position, arms above the head. As you exhale, bend from the hips, lower the hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, lower the hands to the mat. Either step into a plank position, or you can hop into a into a chaturanga. You can also hop into a plank, but if you can hop into a chaturanga, bend the elbows slightly, bend the knees, and by the time the toes touch to the mat, the elbows bend. And try to point the elbows to the back, not away from the midline of the mat. So your Vinyasa flow. Exhale, either find the plank and then chaturanga, or maybe you hopped into a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, look to the front of the mat. Bend the knees, either step or hop in between the hands. Halfway lift. And then as you exhale, lower the belly towards the thighs. Inhale, make your way into a standing position, arms above the head. And then as you exhale, hinge from the hips, lower the hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Pull the shoulders to the back. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat. This time, either repeat what you did the last time in your Vinyasa flow, or if you want, you can add a crow pose. So hands flat on the mat. Lower the knees on top of the triceps. Sometimes some people like going a bit lower. Sometimes people like placing the knees closer to the armpits. Elbows are pointing to the back. Scoop the abs and press the back of the heart up. And then shift the chest forward. You're looking at the mat. Lift the feet from the mat. Use your inner thighs to pull the elbows a bit closer together. Keep the chest open. And we are hopping into chaturanga. If this is too much, just step back into a plank or hop into a chaturanga from standing forward fold. If you are with me, one inhalation, and then exhale. Find your chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And just hold here. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, we have one more inhalation. As you exhale, bend the knees, belly on top of the thighs. Knees are hovering above the mat. And then keep the right thigh attached to the belly. As you start lifting the right foot, extend the left leg, shift the shoulders forward. Flex the right foot, step the right foot in between the hands. Right hand can come a bit closer to the right top corner of the mat. Shift the weight on the right foot, right hand, and lift the left foot from the mat for a half moon. If you need to keep this left hand on the mat, that's okay. Or you can extend the left arm above the head, opening the chest to the left, stacking the left hip on top of the right hip. Flexing the left toes, pressing the left heel to the back. Keep lifting the chest, keep lifting the right side of the waist from the mat. If you want to challenge the balance, feel free to look at your left fingers. And breathe in. Breathe out. One more inhalation. And then as you exhale, bend the right knee. We are making our way into warrior one. Step the left foot to the back. Feet as wide as the hip bones. Square the hips, arms above the head. Bend the right knee a bit more so it lands on top of the right heel. Left heel is grounded on the mat. Take one more inhalation here. As you exhale, lower the hands to the mat. Hands are framing the right foot. We are making our way into a pistol squat. Shift the weight on the right foot and the hands, pull the left knee to the belly, and then extend the left leg in front of you. Hold here for a moment. Palms of the hands together in front of the chest. Just balance here on the right foot. Maybe the right heel is lifted. If you need to use your hands as a support, go ahead. And then lower the hips to the mat. Lift this left leg even more. You can extend the arms in front of you. And then just tap the left heel to the mat. Scoop the abs to lift the left leg. Engage the top of the thigh. And then lower. Lift. And lower. Lift and hold. Bend the left knee. And then lift the right foot from the mat. Pull the knees together and towards the chest, Navasana. Scoop the abs. Pull the shoulders to the back. Palms of the hands facing each other. Inhale. And exhale, drop the feet to the mat. Feet as wide as the edges of the mat. Shift the weight forward. If you need to use the hands, use the hands. Making your way into your Malasana. Engage the glutes to press the knees away from the midline of the mat. Palms of the hands still facing each other. And then lift the heels. And drop the heels. Lift. And lower. Stay low with the hips. Lift. And lower. Hold. Inhale. Exhale, lower the hands to the mat. We are stepping the left foot to the back of the mat. So step this left foot to the back of the mat. Drop the hips forward and down. Pelvic bowl is heavy. And then we are just going to bounce up and down. So lift and lower the hips slightly. Still with control. Feeling into this elastic rebound. For 2 and 1. Drop the left knee to the mat. You can stay here or inhale, reach the right arm in front of you. Big circular movement with the right arm. Open the chest to the left as you guide the right fingers to the back. And then bend the left knee. Maybe pull the left heel closer to the glute as you keep pressing the hips forward. Just one inhalation here. And one exhalation. Release the left leg and then circle the right hand under the right shoulder. Hold here for a moment. Lift the left knee from the mat if you want to make it a bit more intense. Or again, the left knee can stay on the mat. Keep lifting the chest to get deeper stretch in the left hip flexor. And then we are going to squeeze the right knee towards the right tricep. Lift the left knee from the mat if you are not there yet. And then you can lift the hips just slightly. Keep the right knee attached to the right tricep and then lift the right foot from the mat. And just hold here. We are shifting the weight on the left hand. Right knee is pointing up. Once again, find your side plank. If this is way too much, drop the right foot in front of you. Or just find the side plank on the left hand with the right foot in front of the left foot. Otherwise, you can extend the right leg. Maybe grab with your 2 fingers to the right big toe for a full star shape. Wherever you are, hold. Inhale. And then as you exhale, release the right foot on top of the left foot. Lower the right hand to the mat. Find your plank position, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, downward facing dog. Just one inhalation here. As you exhale, belly on top of the thighs, heels lift slightly, knees hovering above the mat. Keep the left thigh attached to the belly. Start lifting the left foot as you extend the right leg. Shift the shoulders forward. And then step the left foot in between the hands. You can step the left hand even closer to the left top edge of the mat. Left top corner of the mat. And then shift the weight on the left foot, left hand. Start lifting the right foot and stack the right hip on top of the left hip. If you want to stay here with the right hand on the mat, right fingers on the mat of course, or extend the right arm above the head. Open the chest to the right, stack the right shoulder on top of the left one. Micro bend in the left knee. Inhale. And exhale, keep lifting the left side of the waist from the mat. The crown of the head is reaching to the front of the mat. With your next exhalation, bend the left knee, step the right foot to the back for warrior one. So heels are as wide as the hip bones, instead aligned. Square the hips, extend the arms above the head. The left kneecap is pointing forward. Push the right hip forward, left to the back. Sink even deeper. Inhale. And then as you exhale, lower the hands to the mat. Pistol squat, shift the weight on the left foot and the hands. Pull the right knee to the belly and extend the right leg in front of you. Hold here. Hands can stay on the mat or palms of the hands together in front of the chest. Open the chest. The crown of the head is reaching up. And then as you exhale, drop the hips to the mat. Extend the arms in front of you. Lift the right leg even higher and then tap the right heel to the mat. Lift, scoop the abs, engage the top of the thigh. Lower the right leg. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and hold. Bend the right knee. Pull the left knee to the chest, Navasana. Shins parallel to the mat. Gaze on your toes. Pull the shoulders to the back. Inhale. Exhale, drop the feet to the edges of the mat, toes pointing slightly away from the midline of the mat. And then shift the chest forward for Malasana, yogic squat. The crown of the head is reaching up, tailbone down. And then lift the heels, drop the heels. Nothing else is moving, just lift the heels and drop. Stay low with the hips, lift and then drop the heels. Lower the hands to the mat, shift the weight on the hands and the left foot. Step the right foot to the back, left toe still pointing slightly away from the midline of the mat. And then start bouncing here up and down. So left knee is not rolling in. This movement is still controlled, gentle. You have one more in-breath here. And then as you exhale, lower the right knee to the mat, the top of the right foot to the mat. Option to stay here or inhale, left fingers reaching forward, big circular movement with the left arm. Open the chest to the left and then maybe bend the right knee. Maybe grab the right foot and pull the right heel to the glute. Stay with the breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, release the right foot, big circular movement with the left arm, left hand drops under the left shoulder. And again, stay here with the right knee or tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee from the mat. Just one more inhalation here. Maybe the pelvis is dropping even more forward. One more exhalation. Pull the left knee to the left tricep. You can lift the hips just slightly if your hips were pretty low. And then we are lifting just the left foot. So again, shoulders stay on top of the wrists. Just lift the left foot from the mat. Scoop the abs. Shift the weight on the right hand. And then drop the right heel to the right. Left knee is pointing up. Lift the left hand. Extend the left arm above the head. And again, if this is too much, step the left foot in front of the right foot or to the left edge of the mat. If you want, extend the left leg. Maybe grab to the left big toe for a full star shape. Breathe. Inhale. Release the left foot. Exhale, lower the left foot on top of the right foot, the left hand under the left shoulder, finding your plank position. Inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, elbows hugging the rib cage. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one more inhalation here. Exhale, start walking the hands towards your feet. This time grab to the big toes, or if this is too much, grab to the ankles. And then maybe slide the hands under the soles of the feet if that feels needed to deepen the stretch. And then belly comes closer to the thighs, relax the neck. Just stay with the breath. Make it slower, make it deeper. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, bend the knees so you're finding length through the back body. And then release the hands. We are going to shift the weight on the hands, lift the heels, and then bend the knees, lower the hips on top of the heels, and once again you're in a toe stand. Palms of the hands together in front of the chest, and then point the knees away from the midline of the mat. Just breathe here. Inhale. And then exhale, pull the knees towards each other. Lower the hands to the mat and then extend the legs. Option to repeat the same position, standing forward fold. Again, hands on the ankles or grab to the big toes or slide the hands underneath the feet. Or heel toe the feet so they are as wide as the edges of the mat. I like to walk them just a bit wider. And then we are going to, if you are with me for this deep stretch, lower the belly to the space in between the thighs. The knees will bend slightly. And then you are going to extend the right arm under the right knee, the left arm under the left knee. And then bend the elbows to connect the fingers behind your back. And then you can start extending the legs, which is a relative term. See how far you can go here. Breathe. Inhale. And then exhale, release. Release the hands to the mat. Once again, inhale, halfway lift. And then walk the heels a bit more, a bit closer to the midline of the mat, toes pointing away, the feet as wide as the edges of the mat. So depending on where you were in the previous position, once again we are going to make our way into a Malasana stance. And then lower the hips to the space in between the heels. And find your Malasana, palms of the hands together in front of the chest. If you want to stay in your Malasana, then stay here. If you want to make it a bit more restorative, you can slide the block or the book or the pillow or whatever you have under the hips. If you are hinging forward quite a lot here, you can also place the hands next to the heels so you can open the chest. Okay, if you want to take it one step further, we are going to play with a balancing position. So you're going to extend the left arm to the left and the right arm up, and this is the first step where you can stay, which you can hold longer if you want to. And then you're going to take a bind. So you're bending the left elbow, flipping the palm of the left hand so it's pointing to the back, and then bend the right arm. Maybe connect the fingers behind the back. And then heel toe the right foot so it's closer to the left foot. We are lifting the hips slightly and lifting the left heel. Then shift the weight on the right foot and start extending the right leg, making your way into this, let's call it a variation of bird of paradise. You're pulling the left knee to the back, keeping the chest open, micro bend in the right knee. And then as you exhale, start bending the right knee with control. Slowly lower the left foot to the left edge of the mat. And then walk the right foot to the right, release the arms. Palms of the hands together in front of the chest. Again, option to hold here or extend the right arm to the right. Left arm is reaching up. And then maybe find a bind. So left arm goes behind you. Bend the right elbow. Maybe find a bind here. And then start walking the left foot to the center of the mat. Lift the right heel. Option to hold here or start shifting the weight on the left foot. Open the chest. Guide this right knee to the back. Make sure that you're not locking the left knee joint. Breathe. Inhale. And then as you exhale, start bending the left knee. Slowly, with control, drop the right toes, the right foot to the mat. And then walk the left foot to the left. Release the arms. Palms of the hands together in front of the chest. Inhale here. And exhale. Lower the hands to the mat and start extending the legs, lifting the hips. And then walk the feet so they are as wide as the hip bones. Walk the hands to the front of the mat on your next inhalation. Find your plank, meet the shape. Exhale, bend the elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And just hold here. Inhale. And then as you exhale, drop the knees to the mat. The top of the feet to the mat. And then sit back into your child's pose. Take one more inhalation. And exhale. We're going to lower on the belly, so ripple forward and then bend the elbows. Lower the belly, the pelvis to the mat. And then press the fingertips next to the edges of the mat. You can walk the feet a bit wider than the hips. Engage the glutes by pressing the top of the feet to the mat. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Stay here. And then slide the left leg so the left thigh is parallel to the shorter edge of the mat. Flex the left foot. Left toes are pointing to the left. And then once again on your next inhalation, lift. And then lower the belly, the chest to the mat. Once again, lift. And then lower. Extend the left leg to the back and then bend the left knee. Slide the right thigh so it's parallel to the shorter edge of the mat, the right calf to the longer edge of the mat. Right toes pointing to the right, and once again, 2 times. Inhale, lift, and then lower. Once again, lift, and then lower. Slide the right leg to the back, hands next to the hips, and then make your way into a tabletop position. Okay, you can turn so you are facing the longer edge of the mat. We're going to make our way into a frog pose. So start sliding the knees quite far away from each other, as far as you can go, as far as the body allows you to go. And then you have 90-degree angle in between the thighs and the calves, the toes pointing away from you. Then lower on the forearms and just hold here. The hips are aligned with the knees, so you're not shifting too much forward, not too much to the back. So find the alignment and just hold here. And if it's causing discomfort for the knees, you can also roll the mat in half so you have this extra support. Close the eyes. And just breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. And then on your next in-breath, make your way back on the hands. And then start walking the knees towards each other. You can turn so you are facing the front of the mat once again. You can move the hips from side to side, any organic movements that you need, maybe child's pose. Whatever feels good, so you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing here. And then come back through center, cross the ankles under the glutes and make your way into a seated position on the mat. Extend the legs in front of you. And we are going to press the fingertips next to the knees, next to the thighs, next to the knees. And point your toes. Scoop the abs so you are closing the space in between the lower ribs and the hip bones. Rounding the back body slightly, and then lift the left leg and lower, lift the right leg and lower. So you're pressing the femur into a hip socket as you do that, and then engaging the top of the thigh and the core. And again, lift and lower, lift and lower. 2 more on each side, lift, lower, lift, lower. And now let's try both of the legs lift, lower, lift, lower, one more, lift, and lower. Release, flex the feet, and then find length through the body. Find length through the lower back. Maybe stay here, maybe bend the knees slightly. Inhale, extend the arms above the head, and then as you exhale, lower the belly towards the thighs. And as always, without rounding the back body, so you're tractioning the chest forward. Doesn't matter where the hands are. Just breathe. And take one more inhalation. And one more exhalation. On your next in-breath, start lifting the upper body. Once again, finding length through the spine. You can walk a bit closer to the front of the mat so you have space behind you. Extend the arms in front of you. Scoop the abs to make your way on your back. And then pull the knees to the chest. We have just one position here before Shavasana, which is a happy baby pose. So heels land on top of the knees. The soles of the feet are pointing up, and then rock gently side to side. Allow the tailbone to be heavy on the mat. And then come back for center. Release the feet, pull the knees together. And with the next exhalation, extend the legs. Shavasana. Relax the body on the mat. Once again, becoming aware of the breath. Becoming aware of how you can support the body here. So taking any adjustments needed to feel comfortable, to feel supported. And just allowing the breath to flow naturally. If you want to stay in your Shavasana longer, as always, this is such an important part of the practice, so take as much time as you need. And then when you feel ready, start adding gentle movement. Start bringing gentle movement into the body. Maybe rolling the wrists or the ankles. Maybe stretching on the mat, or maybe once again pulling the knees to the chest. Either rolling on the side into a fetal position, or making your way into a sit-in other way, rocking up, landing in the seated position. And let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Hold at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Hold at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Hold at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale through the mouth. Place the palms of the hands together in front of the chest if that feels appropriate. And thank yourself for this practice. Thank you. Namaste.